everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a week of working lunches. I'm working a remote job right now and I try to keep my lunch breaks like 30 minutes max. So all these lunches are either super easy to prep the night before or they take like 15-20 minutes max to make them. So you can make them in the morning and pack them with you if you're gonna go to a job in person, or you can just make them really quick at home during your lunch break. Hopefully this gives you some good meal inspo. All the lunches were super good and so delicious, so I'm really excited to share, and let's get into it. So a lot of times on Mondays, I'll have some kind of leftovers from the weekend and I like to jazz it up. So I decided to make some sauteed kale, just threw it in a pan with a little bit of oil and salt, cooked it for 2 to 3 minutes. And then I've been on this major sauteed tofu kick recently. I don't know why, there's really nothing to it. I've just been chopping up tofu and literally putting it on a pan with some oil, keeping it on a really hot pan for about a minute or two on each side so it gets nice and brown. And these are the leftovers in question. I had this amazing veggie fried rice and I had a whole bunch left over, so I threw about, I don't know, half of what I had left into a pan, just heated it up and plated all of that together. Reviving leftovers is my passion. I love it. Don't let anything go to waste ever. This was so good. So I did most of the prep for Tuesday's lunch the night before. I need to start off by saying this is not authentic to any culture at all in the slightest. It's kind of if a ravioli, a spanakopita, and an egg roll had a baby. I started off by just defrosting some frozen spinach, about a third of the pack, and then mixed it with some ricotta, feta, parmesan, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and then salt and pepper. I just kind of kept tasting it, added more or less depending on what I felt like it needed, so there's no measurements here. And then I went in with some egg roll wrappers. You put a little bit of the filling into the middle and then use water to kind of seal up the edges and then just fold these all up. So I made a few and then just threw them into a Tupperware and then stuck them in the fridge overnight so I could make them the next day, but you could also just cook them at the same time and pack them like that if that's what you wanted to do. And the next day at lunch, I just microwaved some meatless meatballs from Trader Joe's with some tomato sauce, made a Caesar salad on the side, and the way I cooked the little spinach ricotta pockets was I just threw them on a hot pan with a little bit of oil for about 3 minutes on each side. If you wanted to after, you could also throw them into the oven or toaster oven for another 2 to 3 minutes, but it's not super necessary. That just makes them a little bit crispier, so I really like that. And here it was. This turned out so good. The texture on the inside and the texture of the egg roll wrappers, impeccable, stunning, amazing, never been done before, just so good. You have to make these. So on Wednesday, I decided to make kind of a lentil bolognese sauce. So started off by cutting just a little bit of onion, and then chopped up a little bit of kale as well, so just it was nice smaller kind of bite-sized pieces. Started by throwing the onion into a pan with some tomato paste, and then I added in the kale. My mistake, wait, add the kale a little bit later. But then after that had cooked down all together just a little bit, I added about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. You could also just do plant milk, and then some pasta water. I would add the kale in at this point, but then I went in with the lentils and I put all of this over some cooked chickpea pasta and some broccoli. This was super filling, really, really good, just amazing, honestly, super warm and comforting and just delicious. Happy Thursday, everyone. This started with some prep the night before as well. So I just started with 1 sweet potato and chopped it into little slices. I don't know why, this sped up clip makes me laugh. I think it's really funny. Then I just sprayed a baking sheet with a little bit of oil and spread out the sweet potato slices as much as I could. They overlapped a little bit, but no big deal. Put a little bit more spray oil and some salt on top, and then bake these at around 400 degrees for about 25 minutes until the sweet potato is cooked through. Then the next day, kind of wanted to take this in a breakfast for lunch direction, so started off by heating these Trader Joe's meatless breakfast sausages. Then threw in the roasted sweet potato from the night before, heated that up again. Sweet potato reheats so well, so this is a really, really good lunch idea. Paired this with some sauteed kale, I honestly only had kale and broccoli in my fridge this week for veggies, so that's why they kept getting repeated, and then served everything up with some ketchup and some cheddar cheese. This was amazing. Sweet potatoes are just so hearty and warm, and they keep you full for a really long time, and they just reheat really nicely, so great lunch idea. This whole thing was just so good, a nice little breakfast for lunch moment. Happy Friday, my friends. By Friday, I usually have a little bit of a bunch of different leftovers in my fridge, so I just decided to do a bowl with a little bit of everything. Turned out so good. We started off with some broccoli that I just cooked with a little bit of water on the stove. Then we've got some tofu made the same way as Monday. I made some rice with, of course, a little bit more broccoli. Then we have some lentils that I cooked with curry powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. If you are not putting curry powder on your lentils, what are you doing? It works so well with that earthy flavor. It is amazing. Then we've got some cherry tomatoes, some diced onion, some avocado, and some hummus just to top everything off. This is amazing and a great way to make sure that nothing is going bad. The hummus really just pulls everything together, and this was one of my favorite lunches all week, honestly. And we got a happy dance for good food, obviously. And that's all for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I will see you soon with another one. Bye!